Yeah, we live. All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and the glory to Yahweh.
Hashem, Yahweh,
Hashem, right. As you can see, it's just three of us here, and as you can see, the brother Mark could come, and it's we got the Wad and we got Yaram Yashamar here, and basically the live is going to be based on, as you can see, the title, and the title says, "Thou art filled with shame, Esau." Okay, and the reason why I want to deal with this topic, because we're living in a time where Esau is showing this what is this they're feeling ashamed of what they've done, and the whole intent now is to put everything aside as to the evils that they've done and committed,
right?
And thinking that, okay, well, we can move forward, but that's not how the Lord operates. The Lord, as we bring out the scriptures, the Lord require that which is past, and so shall we, and so shall we do. So we're not going to just forsake everything because Esau is bowing down, these tumbling down statues and these kind of sort of things. What it is the reason why they're doing all of this stuff, because they're ashamed of what they've done to our people.
Got that precept.
Go on, brother.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. That which ye have been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and God requireth that which is past.
Right, and the Most High require that which is past. And to make matters even worse, because we also got to revert back to another precept in the book of Hebrews, the 12th chapter, and that says that his Esau was rejected, and there's no place found of repentance. So there's not a cloak or a shoe or a hat that can save him from the judgment to come.
Right. I got some more though.
All right, go on.
It is verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
Yeah.
I said in my heart.
Yep. No, go on, brother Talakia.
I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work.
Yeah, and that's here on this earth. So the place of judgment is not going to be, as we've all been taught while we're in the world, where you're going to be judging the place in hellfires underneath the earth. No, your judgment is going to be placed down here on this earth, as we've all been judged. Now, if you look at even us as a people, even though the Lord chose our people, yet and still we're being afflicted by these devils because of the wrongs that we've done. So how much more these Edomites? What makes them special? That means if they're thinking that they can get off judgment, which they kind of believe anyway, they believe that they're above and beyond everybody else. But that's not the case, because according to the Bible, these are people that the Lord hates. And he has not.
So that precept.
Go on, brother.
It's the second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12. Now I beseech those that read this book, that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations, okay, this is the point, for not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins.
Yes.
So dealeth he with us.
Yep.
Least that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance of us.
Yes. And that's how
and
he's doing. Sorry, brother, go on.
And therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us, and though he punish with adversity, yet doth he never forsake his people.
Good. So yeah, he's punished us, but yet and still he has not forsaken his people. So yeah, we're being punished, but that's because of what the wrongs that we've done. All right. So And also, I want to revert back to the previous precept you was reading as well about the way he deals with these other nations. Now, when these other nations get to the highest of their sin, to their apex level, that's when the Lord deals with them on a negative aspect.
Right.
So all Esau's doing, he's just fulfilling his lot. And I'm talking about the powers that be, to be exact. They're all fulfilling their lot and exercising their wickedness to the highest degree. Once that's done, then the Most High is going to come through, send his son down, to pretty much destroy this kingdom. And those missiles are going to come do the job too.
Right.
Okay. But what I was saying was, if we are being judged right now and we're his chosen, how much more these Edomites, man? Because they think to believe that they're just higher than everybody else. Right. They think, okay, if we could just say we forgive if we could just say, look, man, like basically mincing words, like I'm sorry for what I did, and down and showing their love, which really they don't love us at all. That's just them, as the scripture says in the book of Job, they shall seek to please the poor.
Right.
Because the thing about it is, those Edomites, they're not even praying to the Lord. They're actually begging for forgiveness. Right. But just because the group of Jakes, I'm even go as far as saying this, just because the group of Jakes forgive you for what you've done, it doesn't mean that the Heavenly Father has forgiven you. Because it's all about what the Heavenly Father thinks, man. It ain't about what man thinks. It's about what he thinks. Go on, brother, if you got a precept.
Yeah,
there's two. Go on.
So like Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defileth the land.
Right. It says you shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. So what happened in the landmass, which is called America today? There was butt breaking going on. Okay, sodomy was going on. There was people being lynched. Okay, there was children, also being sodomized and being lynched. There were women that were being sodomized and being lynched, and there was a whole lot of nonsense going on in America, man. You see, and now we live in the year 2020. We're in this day and age where all of this information has flooded the internet of what they've done, and because of this case, this George Floyd situation. Like you said, you said when we was out there teaching, there's more Edomites than niggas protesting over this George Floyd thing.
Right. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Go on, brother.
Yeah. Because you see the protesting, and then you see Black Lives Matter, BLM, right? And Black Lives Matter. I mean, this is like a surfacing movement, because it was a movement that's went on before, but now it's resurfaced again. A Black Lives Matter, and there's actually a movement that was supposedly formulated for so-called black people to protest against white supremacist police brutality, right? And so they're out there protesting because it was a George Floyd's supposed death that sparked it all off, right? So you're thinking that it should be mainly so-called black people out there protesting, but then every time because I never went to the protest, I've got no intention to go to any of them protests, but when you visualize it on the YouTube, you see predominantly non-black people protesting. And if every time you ever do see a so-called black person there, is mainly a so-called black woman. Okay, so you're thinking in your head, it's supposed to be us. Like if you remember the boycott protesting of Martin Luther King. If you see any of those 1950s protesting, the bus boycotting protests, it was all just so-called black people. You didn't see white people there protesting. You didn't see LGBTs. You didn't see other groups of people trying to submerge their little agendas in that protest. It was just so-called black people, and they were all focused on the issue at hand. Okay, but now when you see the BLM, the Black Lives Matter movement, you're seeing a whole heap of fuckery in there. Excuse my language. You're seeing non-black people protesting harder than so-called black people themselves. And you're thinking in your head, what's this all about? Like, why are these people bringing in their agendas and bringing in their little you know what I'm saying, the little points and including it in the BLM? And
Come.
you gotta ask yourself, why is white people, because that's where it is predominantly, more than any other ethnic group of people are showing up to our protests. So you gotta ask yourself, thinking, there's obviously an agenda behind it. There's a reason behind it, because so-called white people, if you look at the history that we've had connected with so-called white people, it's all been bloodshed, and it's mainly been on white on black crime. You know, white people enslaving us, as you've said, lynching us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, burning us alive, decapitating us, cutting off our genitals and putting it on their mantelpiece, feeding our children to alligators, you know, hanging us by the dozens off of one tree. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Slaughtering us, dropping bombs on Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, doing Congo, chopping off our hands and feet if we
Mm-hmm.
didn't bring in a certain amount of rubber from the rubber trees. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of evil Esau's done, raping us, butt breaking, anything that he could think of to try and break our will and our you know our resolve.
Yep.
But now these same people are now joining us in protest, in love, and peace, and unity. Why is this? That's the question. Why are they doing this?
Come.
And they're doing it because, one, they're losing economic power. They're losing political economic power. So now they're losing power. They all of a sudden they want to hide among the notion their slogans of peace and love, because they know their arse whipping is coming for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they know that they're hated. They know that in anybody's sensible mind, they would be hated for the
Yep.
things that they've done. That people would hate them for the things that they've done, and they know that according to is it Obadiah? It says thou art small and greatly despised.
Yeah. 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 Come.
Somebody get that? Thou art how does it go?
I got two for you, but was that Obadiah what? Obadiah
Yeah,
one,
you
yeah.
know when it says an ambassador has been sent among Edom, thou art
Oh
small
yeah,
against the nations and greatly despised.
yeah, yeah.
There's a reason why Esau is despised, man. People don't hate him because of his skin color. Because if you mention this topic to a so-called white man, all of a sudden he will try and deflect and project. Oh, it's about my skin color. Because I remember I've done that plenty of times.
Come.
They
Yeah,
try to make it about because they've hated us because of supposedly our skin color. So now they want to try and make it look like we're hating them for their skin color now. But that's not the issue. If you go, I can read it.
yeah, Obadiah, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Right,
Behold, I have made thee smaller among the heathen, thou art greatly despised.
right. So Esau is being despised for the things he's done. Okay, the things that he's done has led to people, nations of people, hating him. Do you understand?
Yep.
That's why it says, "Thou art small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised." And they would have said they're gonna rise up in war against Edom. So now that Esau's losing power, the scripture says, has thou become as weak as we?
Yep.
Esau's losing that power that grip that he once had. If you can get that as well, thou become weak. Was it in Isaiah 13, I believe, 14.
Because when you look around the world, because my mother, she's pretty much damn near went around the world, man. And
Right,
the kind of attitude these other nations have towards these Edomites, it's not like what it used to be.
Right.
They're straight hating on them now, and they're finding it very difficult to get on board, to get on the plane, to get back to where he came from, they're being affected by these other nations too. People robbing
Right.
and killing them in some cases. So these are the things that are going on right now, and that's all due because of the stench of Esau and the things that they've done to come forth to the light. And that's all it is. And they're so they're so disgusting as to what they've done that they don't even like their own stench anymore. What you have
Right.
is you have a lot of Edomites that are having this individualistic mentality, and then you got these Edomite women out here. They're getting with Jake and Groves, and the reason why they get with Jake and Groves is because they are trying to separate themselves from their people because they don't want to be associated with the decrepit heritage that they have.
Mm.
So they're even hating on themselves at the same time. But it all has something to do with shame. They're ashamed of what they've done and what they've become today. And now, now it's getting to the point where they want to tumble down statues and beg for forgiveness. But when was that going on when they were doing all of that dirt to us? Oh, I get it, because they never thought a time would come that their history and who they are would be found out. Right.
They never thought it would get to that.
Yep.
You got that?
In Isaiah 14, where it speaks about, where is it? From verse 9. Though that weakest that did make the nations weak, Lucifer, how we fallen. Is that the one you wanted?
Yeah.
This is Isaiah 14.
That has become weak as we. It says, hell from beneath thee has moved to meet thee at thy coming.
Oh, let me get cool. Okay. Yeah, this is Isaiah 14 and 9, and it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Right. All the kings of the nations, they're stirred to meet thee at thy coming. Okay, because they don't respect Esau, because Esau, the so-called white man in America. Because if you check Germany, some German ambassador or whatever, I forget her name, she kind of disrespected Trump because
is it Angela Merkel or something like that?
I think that's her name or something like that. She didn't really turn up to some meeting or something like that. She made some excuse because Germany don't respect America, because they look at it like, how can Donald Trump tell other countries what to do with their land and their things when you look at America's exploding from the inside out.
Yep.
So they look at, well, how can you be telling us what to do, and look at the state of your own country. Take the mote out your own eye before you try to take the mote out of ours. That's so it's just like a snowball effect. The nations are starting to lose respect to the point where they're gonna turn on America. Okay. So continue reading.
1 second. Verse 10, and it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Right. Because America weakened the nations. And we all know that America's been at war ever since its establishment. Ever since that land became known as the United States of America, or America, okay, in the 1700s, 1776, I believe it was. Ever since then, America's just been at war constantly. America's hardly ever known peace as a nation. All right. So America has weakened the nations. Okay, you all know how America's known for going inside other people's countries, blaming them for having terrorist weapons when really they're trying to take their resources and dropping bombs. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We all know the history of America is bloodshed, pretty much. That's how it was founded.
Con.
Okay, but now it's getting to a point where Esau's economic system is um, is accumulating a lot of debt. All right, it's losing value, it's losing power.
Every
Other
day.
nations, exactly right. Other nations are developing their power, their economy. Okay, and they're kind of looking down at America now. We're getting to the point where Esau's losing economic power to the point where so-called white people in the United States of America and in pretty much in this Western Hemisphere are realizing that they're losing power. So now
Yeah.
that they're losing power, all of a sudden they want to recognize the humanity of black people, or so-called black people, or Native American people. They want to make it look like, oh, it's all about love. All of a sudden they're talking about love now. This grand philosophy of love and
And equality.
acceptance and equal. All of a sudden is equality now. You know what I'm saying? When in their constitution, it says in the American Constitution, it says that so-called black people, what, 3/5 are a human being or 1/5 of human being.
It's still in the Constitution, by the way. They haven't changed
Pardon?
it. No,
You
it's still in
see?
the Constitution.
You see what I mean? And they haven't, so-called black people have demanded reparations. They haven't done that. They haven't even gone as far as apologizing. But all of a sudden, is peace and love and racism is disgusting now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's all disgusting. They're trying to clean up the BS that they've been spreading.
Con.
Okay, so
Yep.
now that even when you speak openly about the things that white people have done, they automatically start projecting. They start to say, oh, is this about my color? Or you hate me because I'm white?
Con.
And they're offended by the word white.
Con. But brother,
Okay,
can I speak on that though?
yeah,
Because like I said, man, when we was outside, if you're offended by the term white, something that they call themselves, no one ain't called them this. They call themselves white so that they can appear pure and upstanding and righteous citizens. This is
right,
what they call themselves. So now all of a sudden, they don't want to call themselves white anymore. And it just goes to show you how nasty and degradable these people really are, because they even muddied up the term white. So when
right,
a person calls them white, they get offended by it. And there's an actual article that I did a video on of a black woman. She did an article on it. I mean, she didn't really hit key points, but I just broke it down in my way, because she wasn't really hitting key points. But the point
right,
being is they're ashamed of themselves is simply because of the shit that they did, and now it's all coming out there now. And that's what the problem is, man. If somebody can get me Hebrews 2:16, Baba Kusham, if you can,
yeah. You
Yeah,
want
I'll
to get
get
that
that.
piece? Yeah, sir.
I'll get that.
Thank you.
because that's what it all boils down to, man. And another thing as well, when you look at all of these news stations are doing the same thing that RT was doing. RT pretty much set the trend of doing news worldwide. Now BBC's doing news worldwide. All of a sudden, BBC and the likes is doing news in America. What's going on in America, which they've always been. But now they're kind of like focusing on the world now. They're doing what RT's doing. So and they have to do it because they're losing their ratings. People are not really watching the news as much as they used to, right? They're most likely watching RT or some other alternative news outlet to get their real news. So now BBC, they got to do the same thing now, and they got to touch on these issues, because the thing, what I noticed with England as well, these Edomites in England, they're the kind of Edomites that like to keep things under the rug. They don't like to expose a lot of things that involves the history of our people being afflicted in terms of slavery.
Right.
They like to keep things hidden. And I know the reason why they like to keep things hidden, because when you really study the history of Britain, what you'll find out is that what they did to our forefathers, they literally transported us. They pretty much deported us out of our own land, right?
Right.
And that's why in England they don't talk about slavery like America does. Because if they were to go all the way in, you will find out that you had a lot of jakes in England already that was conquered and taken as slaves.
Right.
They don't want to put out there. Because then it's just, and then on top of that, it's going to disprove this ideology of Darwinism, where the darker you are, you come from a hotter part of the world if you're dark. So that would then upset that doctrine in itself, and it will upset other things. But anyway, yeah, here we got brother Salah.
I just came across this on the Merriam-Webster, and it's damage control, and it says measures taken to offset or minimize damage to reputation,
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
or public image.
Yeah, just real quick, brother. I want to put that on the I want to see if I can put that. I can change your thing so you can see your screen. I know it's just 3 of us, but couldn't I still do it?
You could see me before, you know.
Huh?
You could see me before.
Yeah, you can see him. You can see him.
Yeah, I was on there.
Oh, you was already on it?
Yeah, I was already on it.
Okay. All right, yeah, let me bring it back to normal then.
Yeah, but it says damage control, measures taken to offset or minimize damage to reputation, credibility, or public image caused by a controversial act.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that? Where is it?
That's the definition for the term damage control.
Damage control.
Yeah. So the damage is done. Now they're trying to fix it.
Yeah, they're trying to Esau, boy. You know, Esau and his trickeries, man. That's why they call it he deceived the whole world. That's why everyone's looking at Esau like he's a gentleman. He's a hero, you know, he's a great guy, you know what I mean? And like the victims, you know, you don't want to make Jake look like the perfect victim, because at the end of the day, we have to take responsibility for our actions. That, you know, that's why we call Jake a lot of the time we call them niggers, because they choose to be niggers, innit? But to a great degree, we are victims of what Esau has done. Okay. But Esau's been trying to project his criminalities onto his victims and make the victims look like the perpetrators.
Yeah.
You know, we're the murderers, we're the thieves. You know, we're the ones who are innately violent. You know, it's just in our genetics to be violent and this rude and everything like that. But that's not really the case. Okay. But Esau's tried to, like I said, that's part of his damage control, to try and project all onto his victims to make him look clean and white and pure. But obviously, no matter how much he tries to project, it keeps resurfacing. The things that he's done keeps resurfacing. So it keeps going back to him. So now Esau's trying to hide behind equality, peace, and love, and the Black Lives Matter, and participating in the Black Lives Matter protests. And if you actually see what's going on inside these protests, you got Edomites going there for their own agenda. You got so-called white women going there with black dildos. Okay, you know, you're seeing people even engaging. They are proposing to one another at the Black Lives Matter. Like, you got so-called black men proposing to white women at the Black Lives Matter protest. I'm thinking, what does that have to do with the initial message, man? It was supposed to be about protesting against police brutality, but people are going there with their own agendas. You got black trans lives matters.
Yeah, I did see
that. You got transgenders trying to take the Black Lives Matter and trying to twist it to be about transgenders now. You know, you got feminists. You got black women saying, "Oh, black women's lives matter." But what does that have to do with, you know what I'm saying? There's all these movements, but Esau, as we're talking about, as we're discussing, he's going there to clean up his image, man. That's why he's going there, because he's ashamed.
Yep.
You know, he's ashamed according to Isaiah 47.
That's it. That's as far as it goes, man. You know, they don't. we know, man, these Edomites, they don't like us, man. You know, it's been declared throughout the centuries, and it's being declared now, and it's in them to dislike us, and they're not going to change. If they haven't changed even up to date, they won't change in the future. So brother, if you can get me Hebrews 2:16.
Yeah, I've got that.
Come on.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 16. It says, "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore,"
No, it should say thou art what, filled with shame. It's Habakkuk 2:16. Sorry, brother. Habakkuk 2:16. You know, because that's really what it all boils down to, man. Esau is just out there trying to make himself appear before all because he's looking terrible, man. And the world is seeing what they've been up to. It ain't just the media of it's not just westernized media that's watching all of this. It's media worldwide. RT's doing a thing on it. Okay, probably Al Jazeera's doing a thing on it. Even in the Eastern Muslim world, they're looking at all of this stuff. So everybody knows the dirt of the so-called white man, the Edomite. Go on, brother.
this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. "Thou art filled with shame for glory, thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful speaking shall be on thy glory."
Yeah, because at one time or another, it was cool. You know, it was the end thing to be an Edomite gentleman, as they would say, you know, a gentleman, right? Now, this is not the time to want to be Esau right now, because these devils are looking terrible. So what the Lord is saying here through the Spirit, through Habakkuk, is that in the last days, their shame will come upon their glory. Because there was a time where they had their glory, you know, people loved them. The people of all around the world, the countries all around the world, always desired to go to where they wanted to go to. Like, for example, there was a time where every nation wanted to go to America. There was a time where a lot of people wanted to come to England because they saw it as a place of success. And being there, Esau was obviously a better way of it was just a better way of life being around him. And he could then lead these other nations in the right direction. He was the exemplifier of success and all manner of things that are positive. Now the truth is being shown as to who they really are. And like you said, all of these years, they've been trying to make us look terrible. Because the reason why that's the case is simply because they didn't want the world to see what they were up to. That's why they had the hip hop. Hip hop was a great instrument that they've used to make our people look like criminals.
Right.
They were born to be criminals. They that's just what they rap about. That's what they talk about. They glorify it and everything else. So Esau would put all of this out there to block and hide what he was all about. But really, in all reality, it backfired on him again, because now, and it just goes to show you what the scriptures are saying. Because there's a scripture in the book of Genesis, there's a chapter, there's a verse where it says, "Whosoever curse of Jacob shall be accursed." So because they on us, now the curse is hitting them now.
Hitting them now. Because he tried to use his witchcraft to try and curse us.
Yeah.
You know, the scripture's talking on Nahum about the mistress of witchcrafts. You know, and they've searched deep, a diligent search, with their witchcraft to try and make her look like, you know, we're cut off from grace, and you know we're the wicked, and you know he tried to make her look like it's us, the accuser of their brethren. What's this? They're switching the thing.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Wait there, hold on. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got it.
It's back.
Yeah, so as the scriptures call Esau the accuser of our brethren in Revelations chapter 12, I believe. And Esau's done a lot of accusing, you know, and a lot of all that hip hop and R&B, and it's all to do with, if you check the content of all this type of music is all to do with sex.
Yeah.
There's over sexualization, and there's anything negative, drugs, gang, and pretty much sex, pretty much, and destroying um the unity between a man and a woman. Is all the music is all about heartbreak, and you know you can't trust, and just being betraying one another, this cheating. That's what all this music is about,
Yeah.
and it's all designed to try and control so-called black people in a way, to control Jake, to make us not trust one another, to make us have a negative view towards one another. Okay, to control our minds, man.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's all started by the so-called Jew. The so-called Jew owns all these music genres, man. Jake is the one making the money, but it's Esau that's the one that's really controlling it
Yeah.
on the back end. On the front end, it looks like we're the ones, pushing out this vibe, but it's Esau that's really controlling it on the back end, and that's his witchcraft to try and make us look like the criminals, like the people who are innately bad. You
Mhm.
know, there's a negative stigma to being black, right? And he tried to make the word white, and the more negative we look, is the more positive he looks.
Exactly.
You know, so it's
Yep.
like he's projecting all his criminalities onto us using music, because music can put demons on you, and it can take demons off of you.
Yep.
Okay, like when you go to Saul and King David, he played the harp in front of Saul, and then when Saul was angry and was had them demons on him, King David would play the harp, and it would take those spirits off of him. You can read about it in the book of Samuel. And so Esau knows that music can put demons on you. Okay, but anyway, so that's Esau's been trying to project, but like it's getting to the point where it keeps resurfacing now. Black on white crime, so-called black on white crime,
Go on.
or white on black crime. White so-called white people killing black people with that Ahmaud Arbery. Okay,
Yeah. Go on. Go on.
but and you've had other incidents of so-called white people killing black people, but it just so happens with this incident with George Floyd that it sparked off protests and riots and looting, so forth and so on, and it's really making Esau look bad.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really making Esau look bad, and it's making his image look bad to the point where Edomites, even the average Edomite or your average Joe Edomite, is now trying to protect their image by participating in the protest to make it look like they really do genuinely care
Yeah.
about so-called black people and their lives, and it's disgusting, and racism is disgusting, and
Mm.
overthrowing these statues of uh um um you know slave owners. Okay, like that slave owner in Bristol, they took that statue down and rolled it and pushed it into a river. Okay, and with Christopher Columbus, what did they do? They chopped off the head of the statue of Christopher Columbus.
Mhm.
Right. What else? They took off King Leopold III. They put a bloody bag over his head in Belgium, and they took the statue off. Okay, so these are all signs that Esau's losing that posterity. He's losing his power, man. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. And that's what's going on, man. What's going on? Like you said, brother, is they're looking terrible. They're looking bad, and and just more is gonna start happening. You're gonna start seeing more things going on with these Edomites, man. Because see, what's going on in this atmosphere on this planet is that curses are transitioning to one people to another, and the curses are transitioning to or transferring to Esau. That's what's going on right now. So back in the past, all of their witchcraft and sorcery that they've used against our people, yeah, it worked. Oh man, it worked. But is it working now? Looks like it ain't working too tough, is it? Yes, so brother, can you get me the book of Job 8 and 22? If you already got a precept, you can might as well just get that too. So all of that they've done in the past, like I said, it worked wonderfully well. It did, with the rap music, which that was the main thing that they was pushing that they could use against our people. But now all of a sudden, and I think, and I mean I could be wrong in saying this, but I don't think too many Jakes is into the rap like how they used to. I don't think they like that anymore. I just think that it's just a younger generation that are more into that music than our generation is. So we're not giving into it, and this is why you don't really see too many Jakes promoting, this gangsterism, or as they have you say black culture. Because I'm gonna even say this as well, right? Because I remember the Elder Required he was speaking about this a couple of years back, and it has something to do. The video has something to do with, I think it was called something to do with black culture. But I just wanted to say this as well, man. Which is truthful. Black culture has nothing to do with us. Black, for example, we didn't call ourselves black. For one, let's just put that out there. We didn't call ourselves black. Esau called us that, and Jake took it. Jake took that name, and then they manufactured a culture within that. So when you think about black culture, like you said, you think about all manner of criminality, right? And all the above. This is what you think of. So
projecting.
Right, projected. But now we live in a different age where we now have the truth, and the truth is out there. It's publicated out there now, and Jake can choose, because really is all in the spirit of the Lord. Jake can choose to repent and call themselves what they really are versus calling themselves black. All right, and that's why they pushing Black Lives Matter, because they want to put Jake under that black spell. They want to put Jake under that spell of blackness. You see, the 2/3 want to rock with that spell, go right on ahead, because we already know the game, man, and we know who we are. Anyway, brother, read what you got.
I got two. First, this is Psalms 55, verse 1. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Yeah, the one. Something's wrong with your camera.
Yeah.
It's all right to me.
It's all right to you? Maybe
Yeah.
it's just frozen on my end.
But yeah, I read that one more time. Psalms 55.
Actually, it's all right. It's all right. Come.
And
It's all
21.
right. It's bad on my end.
Words of his mouth.
But when you go on the live, it looks fine. But then again, when I go on you run your Shamar, can you go on YouTube if you see what I see? Because it's like jumper, it's green.
Let me see. Now for me, when I go on YouTube, it's fine.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Come. Okay, yeah. So yeah, man. So read what you got, brother.
Yeah. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Slack. 1 second, man. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, but yet were they drawn swords.
Yeah. So you got to watch this. You're going, brother.
Because now he's talking about, where we feel your pain, we're in this with you, but it's only because his economy, as you brothers have been going into, his economy is going down, and he's losing his edge over the people. So now he wants to say, I'm with you, but then the people going to be like, okay, you're with us. And as soon as they've got us in that corner again, they're going to jump back to being the devil, man. Because it says, yet were they drawn swords.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Esau, man. Esau, boy. Esau is a clown, because he wasn't saying this 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It's only now that in the 1970s, the scripture says, when thou shalt put your nest in the eagles, then shall I bring thee down.
Yes,
where did the ram go?
Sauce.
Yo, you ram yo. Anyway, hold on, I just want to get something. I want to get that precept because it's Habakkuk. It's Habakkuk. No, it's over there. Over there. Obadiah. Excuse me. Yeah, this is Obadiah chapter 1. Obadiah is actually just one big chapter.
Huh.
But I'm going to go to verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
Thou art greatly despised. Right? Esau, you're greatly despised. Okay, and they know it. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee.
Yep.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. That's Esau. When you go to Job chapter 30, it talks about how, you know, he dwelt in the caves, and, you know, he was a caveman, basically. He was in a caveman estate.
Mm.
All right. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right, because that's Esau's pride. He's got that pride, man. You know, the eagle. You know, he takes pride in his military.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, Esau's got that pride, that lofty pride about him. That American pride, right? Verse 4, though thou exhort thyself as the eagle, you know, that word eagle again. You know, going back to Deuteronomy 28, I shall send a nation from far from the end of heaven, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Mm.
Okay, the word eagle is being brought up again because that's Esau's symbol.
Yep.
Okay, going back to the Greeks, the Romans, the Germans, America is always the eagle, because the eagle has that loftiness about him. Right? Though thou exhort thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, okay, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Because Esau, it says they set their nest among the stars, meaning their satellite system. They got their satellite NASA system. Okay, they're trying to search out space, the heavens. Okay, that's why you had a movie called Elysium, because Esau's got that. He's got that technology in our space, man. Okay, so since they've been doing all that, that's the point from where the Most High was bringing Esau down during the 1970s. That's when they pretty much were losing morals. They started promoting homosexuality. They started bringing in feminism to destroy the household and to destroy the conventional traditional structure within the household, with the man being the leader of the house. They're trying to destroy that conventional family structure, so then promoting gender wars. So now you're seeing a lot of whoredom. You're seeing abortion clinics. You're seeing complete whoredom, whore culture, or thought culture, coming around, LGBTs, and it's all bringing shame on Esau's society, on his glory. And now Edomites, average Edomites, are looking around themselves as if to say, "What the fuck is my country coming to?"
Exactly.
Okay, but even now themselves, they're starting to admit that their once their posterity is now going down to dirt. Okay, to the point where now they're now saying we're all in it together. They're now saying we're all in it together because they know that their society is coming to shit. Okay, that supremacist pride that they once had is now out the window. Okay, obviously you have certain groups of Edomites that still hold true to white supremacist values, like the Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazis, okay, and white supremacist groups. They still hold true to that, but overall you can't deny the fact that their economy is going down to shit, their values is out the window. Okay, it's just a do as thou wilt country with no real laws, man. Okay. So it says, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So it's all turning back on Esau now. All right, that's why you're seeing what you're seeing in the open. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing all these things. You're seeing Esau toppling down his own statues, man. Okay, that represented the conquering that his people done did. But it's getting to a point where he's looking like a murderer, a villain, a fugitive, somebody who's escaping justice. So that's why you see Edomites bowing down at the feet of some. What was it? The video, the clip. Hello.
Yeah, they were washing the feet of these chicks.
Right. So you see that. So it's like you usually figure Edomite would have did that 200 years ago, in the 1800s. You usually figure Edomite would ever do something like that. back then? Hell no. In fact, they would have been chastised for that. They would have been called a nigger lover.
Well, they probably would have been lynched themselves.
Yeah, you know what I mean. This is Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. And Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies
Yeah,
and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
yeah,
Right?
and that's what's
And
happening.
thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yahweh and do all his commandments which I command you this day. So that's
Right.
beginning to happen. We're turning back onto our God. And as we're turning back onto our God, the Lord is starting to turn his face towards us. His face is starting to shine upon us. So if the Lord's face is shining upon us, he's turning away from Esau. Okay? Because the Most High, his favor, he started showing his favor to Esau because of our sins. Okay, I'm gonna get that. Hold on. This is Judges. This is Judges chapter 3 verse 12. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. Right? And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of Yahweh.
Mm.
So what does that show you? That shows that every time we do evil in the sight of the Lord strengthens the other nations against us. Okay? So when we did evil, the Lord strengthened, he sent a nation from far, from the other end of heaven, as swift as the eagle flieth, okay, whose tongue we couldn't understand, who didn't spare the young or the old, and will bring us into a land that we knoweth not, man. So that was a miracle, okay? And for bondman and bondwomen, as Deuteronomy 28 goes, the Lord strengthened Esau. He strengthened the base man, the vilest man of the earth, the man of sin against us. And now that we're turning back onto the Lord again, okay? So in fact, I've got another. Hold on, wait there. Hold on, I want to get Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 13, right? Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity, right? So the Most High's eyes were too pure to behold us anymore, because we were consumed in sin. So the Lord couldn't look upon us anymore. So it says, wherefore lookest thou upon them that dealest treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he. So the Most High started looking upon the other nations, the heathens. Because of our sins, the Most High's favor was now shown towards the wicked. Okay? And that's why Esau was ruling over us. But now it's getting to a point where we're returning back onto a remnant of our people, which is us, Lord willing. We're turning back onto the Lord. Okay, we're keeping his commandments, we're keeping the faith. And now the Most High is now turning his face towards us again.
Mm.
Okay? And that's why shame is starting to be poured out upon Esau. This is why the curses is now being put upon him now. Okay? So everything is just the turning of things upside down is now turning right way back up again. Okay?
Right
So
way.
now you got the wicked kneeling at in fact that's in Proverbs. The wicked shall bow down at the gates of the righteous. If you can get that, Uranium. So about the wicked shall bow down at the gates of the righteous. Yeah, man. So like, yeah, these are all signs. Yeah, go on.
This is Proverbs 14 and 19. The evil bow down before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous.
Right, read that again.
Proverbs 14, verse 19. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous.
Mm.
Right, the evil bow down to the good, man. Now you always say that Jake is wicked because Jake is wicked, right? But we're still the righteous. Okay, we're the needy, we're the poor, we're the fatherless. You know, we're the olive tree. You know, Israel has many labels in our records in the scriptures. Okay, so even though in was it Jeremiah or Isaiah said that among my people are found wicked men, we're still the righteous. So it said that the evil bow down to the good. Okay, but you see this happening, and it's just a sign and getting a testimony out in the open that wow, I mean Esau's really losing it out here, man. And it's like, get me, like we've all been waiting for this. You know what I'm saying? Many prophets and great men have desired to see the things that we're seeing, and we're now seeing it, man. Okay, we're seeing the fall of our enemies. This is happy shall he be. You see the fall of our enemy. But one thing I say about Esau is that you can't trust Esau, man. Okay, you can't trust him.
Can't.
I mean, there's a scripture.
Yes, a lot,
Okay,
brother.
I'm getting that.
Yeah, because Esau's like I said, man, Esau's only doing this to make himself look good and to clear his image. That's all it is, man. He ain't really doing anything other than that. It's just simply him just trying to put away the past because it makes him feel bad and he can't sleep good at night at the same time, knowing that these jakes are aware of him. And that's what makes them feel uncomfortable. It's like when you go outside, you can see it, man. You can, like, they can't even look you in the face anymore. It's kind of like that because they know what they've done, and also what they've always felt inside about us is now coming to the forefront.
cool.
All coming to the forefront now.
I mean, it says in the scriptures that they shall lick up the dust of their feet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what them Edomites was basically doing. So it's like, hold on, we was licking up the dust of their feet at one point. We was bowing down to them. We was prostrating before them at one point. It even shows you that in that movie Goodbye. Was it Goodbye Uncle Tom? There was a circle of Jakes, and there was one Edomite slave master in the middle, and he was kind of teaching them and instructing them on how to behave when they're in front of a so-called white man. You're saying when you're in front of a white man, you bow your head down. You know what I'm saying? But you're in front of them. Okay? You can watch that movie called Uncle Tom. There's a part in that movie that shows you that Jake was commanded to prostrate themselves before Edomite. Okay? So now you're seeing the complete opposite. Now fast forward a couple 100 years later, and now they're prostrating themselves before us. You know what I mean? And it's going to be even worse in the kingdom.
They're literally going to do it.
Right, because right now we don't have the power to like implement an edict to force all Edomites to bow down before us. We don't have that power yet. The Lord, the Most High, has not given us that power to have to exert that type of authority. But Edomites, out of shame, they're doing it out of their own bad conscience. Okay.
Yeah, if you can, if one of you brothers can get me, what is it? The Book of Psalms. Oh man, Job 20 and 27. Salaki, Job 20 and 27. Yeah, and yeah, and that's just the thing, because I mean, there's no hiding and seeking anymore. Esau can't hide and do anything other than what he's doing now. All they can do is just be who they've always been all along, rather than pretending and acting. Because see, Esau's a good actor, man. Like even when you watch BBC and you look at these news people, all they're doing is acting, man. They're not sincere about what they're doing. It's all an act. And then you also have Asian provocateurs that are doing certain things as well. So they're acting on their behalf, and it's all to fulfill one agenda. And that agenda is just to bring forth the one world system. That's what it's all about, man. They all of these guys, even the people that run Google, all of these people have an agenda, and their agenda is to get this one world system going, man. So if they can perpetuate this thing on the media, this George Floyd thing, to invoke some kind of race war, something like that, it may very well work in their favor because a lot of people are simple, man. Yeah, Shalom, brother. GMS Soldier of the Lamb, 144 home. Yeah, Shalom, Mark. You know, so that's really what their agenda is, man. See right through their agenda. You know what I'm saying? You're going, brother. What you got?
What was it? You were in Job 20 and 27.
Yeah.
Okay, and it says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him.
Yeah, so it says that the earth shall reveal his iniquity. What does the word iniquity mean? The word iniquity means a multitude of sins. So Esau is gonna bring about a multitude of sins and show his evil and wickedness that he's been doing all along, right? To the point where the earth is going to start to see it. And how is the earth seeing it? By the internet. Get me the book of Psalms, the 19th chapter, start from the first verse. That's how the world or the earth is revealing his iniquity, man.
I got something.
You're going, bro.
This is Job, the same chapter, Job 20, verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust.
Yeah, and you know what too? I'm happy that you brought that out, because that even what is it? His sins shall go down with him in the dust. So that simply means that actually goes right along with Hebrews the 12th chapter. I tell you what, your Shema, can you get me that? The bar, Salaki, not the bar. The one. Can you read that again, Baba Kushar?
After this, I've actually got to go work because I gotta be there for 5:30.
All right, come.
This is Job 20, verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods.
Yeah.
His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust.
And shall lie down with him in the dust. What shall lie down with him in the dust? His sins.
Right.
So meanwhile, what he's doing is going all the way back. What is he doing? He's pleasing the poor by tumbling down these statues, right? And also bowing down before these black church leaders and watching it. That's them trying to please us, man. And the reason
protesting with us,
right, and protesting with us, because like you said, there's more of them protesting than we are out there.
Exactly, nonsense.
So it's them that's trying to please us. Because at one time we were pleasing them, like you said as well. If you were to go back 100 years ago, 200 years ago, all you would hear about, oh yeah, master, no master, yeah, master. If the master was sick, the slave, what is it? The house slave would say, no, master, we sick. So now, what's going on right now? The same way we were pleasing them back then, they're pleasing us now. So it's all ricocheted against them, man. And the reason why they're pleasing us now is simply because they are simply ashamed of what they have become and what they are. And this is why we're in a day and time where you can't call a person of Caucasian descent white. They actually get offended by it because the term white it brings them back to what they used to be, man. It brings them back to us being enslaved, or how they enslaved us, how they lynched us, how they burned us on the stake, okay? And how they do all kind of nastiness to us, and not just us too. We even can take it to India. We can even take it to South Africa. How they was treating them, how they colonized all of these places. But that's what white culture is. And they don't want to associate with that. They want to try to escape that by calling themselves something else now, but it's too late. Okay, because you know what too is what I'm going to say is this, man. What they really, and they're correct. They're not white. They're Edomites.
They're red.
They're red. Yeah. They're the red people of the earth. Now, when we read Isaiah, the first chapter, Baba Kushar, brother, I know I keep calling you to get other precepts, but if you can just get me Isaiah 1. Yeah, because they are the people of sin, man. That's what the world has to understand. We're still understanding that already to a certain degree. The so-called white people, they are people of sin, and they know it within themselves. Okay? Now, whether I sound racist or whatever you want to call it, I'm stating the facts, man, because we all went to school with you devils. Okay, right. We all ate the same food you was eating. We all sat at the dinner table together, right? We all went in the same class together. So I know you as well as you know yourself. And if not, I probably know more than you know yourself. Okay. Well, we know you more than you know yourself because we got you in the scriptures. The scriptures tells us exactly what your personality traits are. So how come we not
That's why.
you know yourself? Go on, brother.
That's why. Was it Louis Farrakhan? He said that you can't forgive them. You can't forgive Satan.
Come.
You know, because I sent I received a little clip of Farrakhan. He's getting an interview. I can't lie. I like how Farrakhan speaks. I like how how he lays it down. But he's going off. He's into that Islam stuff. But he said something was true, and he's always quoting out of the Bible, which I find interesting. Okay. He quoted something about one of the disciples asked Yahushua, how many times do you forgive somebody? And then Yahushua said 70 times 7, which means in an infinite amount of times you must always be forgiven.
Yeah.
But he never said about forgiving Satan. Okay? You don't forgive the devil. The devil was created to do evil. Exactly. He was accustomed to do evil. Okay? And the devil, the deceiver, is none other than the so-called white man. The so-called white man, because as you're about to read into in Isaiah, the 1st chapter, he's red. But yeah, go on, Yaramna.
Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 18, and it says, "Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow."
Yeah, so this is Isaiah giving you, what's the word I want to use, man? This is Isaiah referring to the color red, or what is it, scarlet, which is red, and connecting it with sin. So when we look around the planet and we see, because there's only one nation of people that stick out like a sore thumb. If you look at all of the other nations have brown hue. Whether we're talking about the Moabites, the so-called Chinese, whether we're talking about the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, whether we're talking about the East Indians, the people of Elam, okay, whether we're talking about the Hamites, every nation under the sun has dark hue. They all have the same, dark hue and black hair.
Right.
All of these nations. Now, if you look at Esau, they have no pigmentation, and they have different colors hair. Their hair can range from being red, it can range from being brunette and blonde. In some cases, black too. Okay, but the point I want to do is their presentation. The Most High made them that way so that the Lord can then show the world, all of these 18 nations, like your 17 nations, that they are the people of sin. Okay, and obviously we've gotten that information, and this is not something that's deep information. This is just simple information, okay, that the world does not know, but we know it. All right. The so-called white man, he's not white for one. That's why we use the term so-called white. He's the red man. He's an Edomite. And when you look up the term Edom in the Hebrew, it simply means just that. It means red. Okay, go on, brother. I know there's some more on that.
Says, though they be red like crimson, they shall be white. So like though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool.
They shall be as wool. In other words, white is a symbol of purity. So the Lord is going to do away with our sin as what? As white and as purity. So that's what white symbolizes. So they are not a pure people. These are people of darkness, of blackness. So what you have now is you have a group of people from all of this time that have been calling us black and calling themselves white, when in actual fact, they're the actual black people walking around.
Right. They're the real niggas.
They're the real niggas. You know, and when you look up the term nigger from the original word nigger, it means a low person, a low grade person.
Yeah, right.
And that's exactly what they are. They're a truly low grade people, because look what they do. Like I said, I went to school with these devils. We all went to school with these devils, and we know what kind of things they get into, man.
Man,
go on, brother.
I just want to say something. This is on Revelation 17 and 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast,
so he's
full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right. So John the Revelator said he saw a scarlet colored beast. So why is this beast scarlet colored? Because he's scarlet colored. The people of Esau and Edom are scarlet colored. And by the
Yeah,
way,
the man of sin.
right, also known as he is the man of sin, which sin is, or should I say, the color scarlet is reference to sin. All right, so
Yeah,
you're
red.
right.
Yeah.
Bubba Kushal, you can. I'm glad you brought that scripture out. The water. That's a good scripture. Get me Revelations the 6th chapter to connect what you just read.
Got a
Revelation.
little bit more.
You're going, brother.
It says verse 4, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
Right, and
And
decked with purple and scarlet colored, meaning purple symbolizes he would be in that royal estate. Go on.
right. And scarlet color. And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Right, which is those philosophies. The first philosophy that I can think of is the "do as thou wilt" doctrine. Just do whatever you want, like the Nike, the Nike logo. What is it? Not a logo, but it's more of a What you say, bro?
The just do it.
Yeah, the just do it.
Yeah.
So that reverts back to the "do as thou wilt," putting women above the men, making sodomites out of men and women. Okay, that's all pretty much a part of that cup or inside of that cup. Okay, doing away with the true image of Yahweh Shai and putting a white image up and saying that that's the Lord Jesus Christ. All right, but that's all a lie, man. And also to deceive the world and making people believe that they are the superior race of the planet. The ideology of white supremacy. Okay, that's all a part of that cup. Deception. Go on, brother.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Yeah, you're running your mind. Are you done with that, the what?
Oh yeah, I've got one more precept. I got to go because I literally have to go work right now.
Okay, brother.
This is my last precept. If you don't mind me, you're on me.
There you go.
This is Job chapter 20, verse 11. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, but shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth,
yes.
Though he hide it under his tongue,
yes.
Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, because you can't trust Esau, even though he goes crouching down. You got to take heed of him, because he's still accustomed to do evil. He's the devil. You know what I mean? So in the times to come, Esau's going to show his true colors. Yeah.
And that's as far as it goes, because these devils are not going to change. We just read it in the book of Job, where it says he shall seek to please the boy, and his sins will lie with him in the dust. So his sins ain't going nowhere. Who he is as a man on the planet, as the devil, as the Lord created him to be, he's not going to change.
Yeah. Let no man deceive you by any means, as the brother that's read.
Exactly. Yeah, so hit me with that, your Shema.
But anyway, I gotta go. So shalom to you brothers, man.
Okay, shalom, brother. Yabba Shmiel Shabrak. Stay safe out there.
Yabba Shmiel Shabrak. Shalom.
Yeah, which one is it you wanted?
Yeah, what you just read.
Oh yeah, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed,
and
the son of perdition.
Right, and that man of sin being revealed, that son of perdition. And this is why the majority of these Edomites, they want to go hide and seek behind Black Lives Matter. Because they know what they've done to our people. They know consciously, or what's within their conscience, how they think towards our people, and they want to hide behind Black Lives Matter so that we don't see the dirt, we don't see who they really are. And like the brother said, GMS Soldier of the Lamb, Amalek behind Black Lives Matter. Oh yeah, cunt. George Soros. And as we've been saying, that whole Black Lives Matter, again, it's set up by a so-called Jew. And who's the spearhead of Black Lives Matter on top of that? A bunch of women that don't like men, that have an issue with men, that are basically sodomites. Go on, brother.
This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 11. And it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as though thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
Exactly, because that rust symbolizes his wickedness. So just because he come couching down, washing your feet, and coming before you as groves as they are, praying and begging unto you so that you can forgive them, you got to be mindful of that, man. Because guess what? The wickedness that's within them is still there. Because you got to remember, in the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it says that it says something to the effect that you can get me it, brother. Habakkuk 2:6, where it says something to the effect that his spirit is not upright in him.
Oh yeah.
Because he has a spirit on him. And the spirit of Esau is an unright spirit that's upon him, and that's not going to change. That's not going to go anywhere. As I always like to quote Proverbs, 16:4. The Lord have created all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Yeah, this is Habakkuk 2:4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
So the spirit that's within him, that's lifted up, because he's got that pride in him, it's not upright in him. That spirit that's within him. Give me Proverbs 16:4.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of Jakes that have seen all of this stuff. The 2/3 of our own people, they're ashamed of seeing Esau bowing down before them. They're ashamed of it. That's really because Jake has a slave mentality. Jake has been taught to have a slave mind mentality rather than having a ruling class mentality. Okay, and that's why you have the 2/3 of our own people. They feel kind of a bit ashamed of seeing these Edomite cops going before these black church leaders and washing their feet. But we applaud that. And really, what they're doing, they're practicing their position because that's where they're going to be in the kingdom. Go on, brother.
Yeah, this is Proverbs 16:4. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Right, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Lord created every single thing, and He also created the evil. Now, one can say, well, why would the Most High? I thought God was all love. Well, that's what you thought. You haven't been reading, okay? Because the Lord deals with both sides of the spectrum. The Most High deals with life, and He also deals with death. He also deals with light, and He also deals with darkness. So that being the case, if He can create righteousness, He can create wickedness too. And you have a group of people that's on the earth that has exemplified wickedness to a whole other degree. Now, am I saying that it's just so-called white people that are inherently evil? No, all of these other nations have evilness within them, okay, including the Israelites. But the main nation that exemplifies wickedness is the so-called Europeans today. And they know it. Okay? They know it. Go on, brother.
Yeah, just a quick one on what you said. This is Psalm 68:20. He that is our power is the God of our salvation, and unto the Most High, the Lord, belong the issues from death.
Right. So not only is He a power that belongeth, our salvation, but He also belongeth the issues from death. Matter of fact, you can get me 1 Samuel is the 2nd chapter. What does that say? I'll wait for you to get it, brother.
Yeah, I'm getting it up.
And you're Rami, if you can, if you could post some articles up as well to show the few that are watching as to what Esau is running away from, man.
Okay. Let me just read this. This is what 1 Samuel 2. I'm gonna start from verse 5, and it says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive, He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich, He bringeth low and lifteth up.
Yeah. So the Lord deals with both sides. He can deal with you being put to death, and He can deal with you being back to life. And you get another precept on that. I believe it's in Deuteronomy 32, I believe it is, where it says, there's no other God besides me. You can get that if you want later on. But yeah, the both sides not a power that's just all about love, as what people have been taught to believe, and they hold dear to that belief. Okay, that's not true. Because think about it, if the Lord was all about love, then we wouldn't have went through the hell that we had to go through on this side, being afflicted under these devils, knowing that we're the children of the Most High. All right? Go on, bro.
I'm trying to find some articles.
Come. Yeah, so what was the scripture you had?
I had, it was in let me get it. It was first Samuel chapter 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You want me to read it again? Or?
No, I got it, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, it says this is First Samuel's. You know what? I'll get the one in Deuteronomy. I'll look for that one instead. Deuteronomy 30. You just give me for 1 minute. Yeah, 32. Yeah, Deuteronomy 32, verse 39. I see now that I am he, and there's no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver it out of my hand. So that goes right along with what we just read in First Samuel's the second chapter. Okay, but there's another precept I want to also get as well. I think it's in Isaiah. If you can, I'll tell you what, brother, I get it myself. Where the Lord said he preached, yeah, exactly. Isaiah 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So the Lord forms the light as he's did, and he creates darkness and makes peace and creates evil. And the Lord does all of these things. What does the book of Malachi, the 3rd chapter say? That says that the Lord doeth nothing. So like not that one right. It's Amos. It's in the book of Amos, where it says the Lord. At least if I can get it, man. If you got a precept, brother.
Yeah, I was just trying to look at these articles. Most of these articles are just like people's opinions on Black Lives Matter, BLM stuff.
Con. Yeah, I believe it's Amos chapter 3. Right, exactly. Amos 3 and 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? And shall there be evils in the city and the Lord have not done it? Because ultimately, this whole Black Lives thing, this George Floyd thing, I'll say George Floyd because that's who they're protesting for. And I don't know how far they're going to take this thing, people, but the Lord is the one that's going to bring about the evil times, because that's what time we're coming into. We're coming into a time of evil that's been preordained to take place on this planet. And this is something also that the powers that be want, because they think to believe that if they can get people rattled up, they can start their new world order. But the Lord is pretty much has another agenda, and their agenda is going to be to the demise of this civilization. Okay, because the Lord, his agenda trumps everybody else's agenda, as we all should know. You're going, brother.
Yeah, I got a quick one. Since you're talking about George Floyd, this is Job 4 and 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Yeah,
exactly. Because George Floyd is just one man. There's been a lot of Jakes that have passed on that have died due to police brutality and all of this stuff. Now, some people believe that he didn't die. Some people believe that he did die. But regardless of what, right? Like the one said, we can't put this spirit out there like Jake ain't doing no wrong and stuff like that. Jake is doing a lot of wrong, and this is why you have these situations where Jake is being gunned down by the police. All right, and really, the police ain't nothing but a whipping stick of the Heavenly Father, as Esau is, pursuant to Isaiah the 10th chapter, as it says that he's likened as the Assyrians. Okay, because when you actually delve into the Assyrian history, with the Israelites, they treated us very badly as well. Okay, but that's just how that goes down. Keep going, brother.
Yeah, I'm trying to. 1 second.
And these nations, like the brother said, you know, these nations rise up against us. That's just the Lord showing his anger towards us. And that's the reason why, again, you have these brutalities that are going on with the police and our people.
Mm.
Is it,
Yeah,
go on, brother.
I can say, like, when you get into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, you know, from like the 15th verse on down, and it's saying, look, if you don't hearken unto these laws, statutes, and commandments, you know, then all of these curses shall come upon you. You know, so as the word was saying, man, like we're not going through this for no reason. You know, there's a reason as to why, you know, we're going through these punishments, because as the scripture says, we're stiff-necked, you know, slow people, man. You know, we'll keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it got to the point where, you know, we would sin, and then we would just, you know, offer sacrifices and prayers and stuff, and the Father would accept us again. But that's why in Isaiah it says, I'll delight no more in your sacrifices or in your burnt offerings. You know, your high holy days and your feast days, I despise them, man. Okay, you know, hence why we went through that slavery where the Lord took everything from us, man. You know, we were discontinued from our heritage, you know, and so on and so forth. So we couldn't directly call upon the Lord. So we paid the punishment for it, man. You know. Okay, so as you both were saying, you know, there's a reason as to why we're going through this, because Jake, the 2/3 are wicked, man. You know, 2/3 will, you know, Jake out there in America and all over the world, to be honest, will riot and stuff, but they're rioting to be equal to their oppressor. You know, it's like they, it's kind of funny because earlier I was hearing a conversation my mum had with a neighbor, and you know, they were saying all we want is to be equal. Now I don't want to be equal with the Edomite, man. You know, the aim is the kingdom, man. You know, because when you read, in fact, let me get it in Revelation, because these are the basics. He that leadeth into captivity. This is Revelation 13:10, and it says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man. Killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, man. Okay, and through that patience, that this period which we're going through right now, which is the suffering, man, that's the knowledge we have that, look, in the kingdom, those people that put us in slavery, as you were saying, the whipping stick of the Lord, these Edomites, it's not good enough that they wash our feet, or they go in the crowd and put up the fist and say, I'm sorry for my ancestors. That's not good enough, man. The reparation of what's going to happen is this, man. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man. You know, that's what's gonna hit the mark, man. You know,
And that's where the bus is, because, like you said, brother, all of this setting up placards and protesting with us more than we are, right? And washing our feet, it's not going to trump their judgment. Their judgment is already written and it's preordained. And like I said earlier in this live, Esau doesn't have a shoe, nor a cloak, nor a hat for his sins. So being that that's the case, all they're doing is they're wasting their time, man. They're wasting their time and their effort in terms of pleasing us, thinking that somehow, some way, God is going to forgive them for what they've done. The Lord ain't going to forgive you because you are not of the people that the Lord has died for. On top of that, the Lord didn't die for their sin. So whatever sin they commit is stained upon them forever, and it shall go down in the dust with them, as we just read in Job, the 14th chapter. You know?
I'll go quick one again.
Keep going, brother.
This is Amos 9:8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Go on, brother.
Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord.
Yeah, because when you read that particular scripture right there, now at first it's aiming at Israel, but we can very well apply that scripture today upon Edom, because their kingdom, beginning with America, will be decimated off the face of the map due to a nuclear war that's pending. That's how the Lord is going to destroy this sinful kingdom off the face of the map. And how is it a sinful kingdom? Let's get Isaiah. I believe it's the 24th chapter, not 24, Isaiah. I think it is Isaiah 24, where they've changed the, what is it, the ordinance?
Oh yeah. 1 second.
Come. So yeah, I mean, America has, and not just America, but also these Western countries. We're really, I mean, I'll start with America because America is the influence of the world. America has influenced people to do exactly what they feel, do as that will. Okay, and promoting just androgyny all around. This is and that's just me, you know, speaking on one thing or a couple of things that they're doing, but there's a lot of things that America's been pushing out there to the world and influencing people to do these sort of things. So what's going to be the payback for that? The judgment has to come. Great destruction has to come upon them. And the thing also is this ideology of white supremacy, where the lighter you are, the greater you are. And that's what they was pushing on those Elamites when they were in India. And that's why you go to India right now, they're under this this mindset where the darker you are, the less fortunate you are, the whiter you look, the more fortunate you are. So Esau has spread this philosophy all around the world. Okay, so what's going to be the payback of that? You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be some kind of payback for that, man. And what's going to happen to them is written in the scriptures, and it's ordained. So all of this washing, doing this, and all of that stuff. And you know, you may have a couple of Edomites. They may say, "Well, I don't agree with what my government did. I don't agree with what our forefathers did." But guess what? All of these are one and the same. All of these are connected as one race. If you look at the ancient Egyptian empire, it wasn't just the top tier family that got destroyed. It was the whole family of the Egyptians. Because you had different classes of Egyptians. You had obviously the working class, all right? You had all different branches of class, even in Egypt. But yet all of them got destroyed as a race. All of them did, because they were all under the same banner and they're all one people and they share the same common ideas. Okay? It was the same thing with these devils too. Go on, brother.
Yeah, this is the book of Isaiah 24 and 5, and it says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant."
And that's why it says in Amos, the 9th chapter, the 8th verse, it says that the Lord will destroy the sinful kingdom of the face of the earth, because America is that sinful kingdom. All right. And like I said, I mean, this society has totally flipped the script when it concerns the truth, bended the truth down, and then pretty much brought forth their lies. All right. And changed times and going as far as changing weathers as well, the changing the weather patterns. Okay.
I got another one.
Go on, brother.
Real quick, Isaiah 5 and 20. "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness,
Come
that
on.
bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter."
Yeah. And that's another thing that they push, that good is bad and bad is good. And if you're not doing the bad stuff that they want you to do, then you're the oddball out. Like what we're doing. We're doing something that's righteous, but in the eyes of these devils, it's an abomination. Where the scriptures does say that. It says that the righteous is an abomination to the wicked. And vice versa, that is. But the scripture says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil." And the word woe simply means destruction, which is what they're going to taste of real soon. Beginning with the top tier, all the way down to the Europeans. Go on, bro.
Can't. Yeah, that's it, man. Because they've switched up everything, man. Because to know evil, you've got to know righteousness, man. You know. Okay, and the head of these Edomites, their father, the devil, Satan. Okay, he knows what righteousness is, but it's his job to understand it and then do the complete opposite, man.
Yep.
You know, and these Edomites, these not your regular day ones, like your elite, man. You know, they actually know what is good to sustain the planet. They know how to actually have an economy where everybody benefits. They know how to do this, but they've purposely set it up where everybody fails except from them. Everybody's sick except from them because they're the wicked, man. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
And
they're
that's
the
how
wicked.
they turn the
Bible.
world upside down. Go on, brother.
No, that was it.
Yeah. And so yeah, and that's and it's just in them to flip everything upside down. It's not in them to put things, to be correct. It's in them because they get a kick out of doing wrong. They don't get a kick out of doing right. They get bored of that. So when it comes to anything that involves wickedness or destruction, that's what they're into, man. Okay, and they can't help themselves. Why is it that when you're watching, let's say for example, you want to pick whatever film that's out. There's all kind of films that's out there, but you also have horror films. Why is that? Why is it that you have horror films out there amongst other films that people can watch? Because horror films is something that these devils are into. They're into horror. They're into bloodshed. They're into darkness. This is what they're into. This is the mindset of these people. So meanwhile, they're trying to portray this image of I'm with Black Lives Matter and I support Black people and all of this other stuff. Again, they cannot take away what's within them. And what's within them, as we all can see, which is what most jakes don't see because they don't know the truth, is that they're inherently evil and wicked. Okay, go on, brother. You want to say some more on that?
Yeah, man. They, as you were saying, they're the wicked, man. They're not set up to do righteousness, man. That's why, like, whenever an Edomite tries to do, in fact, I brought it out earlier, but I'm gonna bring it out again.
Mm-hmm.
Just bear me 1 second. His words were softer than oil. Here we go. This is Psalms 55 and 21, and it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Because when an Edomite, they've got the spirit of a serpent on them, which is to trick, to beguile you, man. So they'll say the right stuff. They know how to speak and to talk about equality, and or we want you to have the best opportunities in the workplace, or we want you to be, a part of society and feel integrated and incorporated and all of that stuff. Yeah, but that's just words, man. That's, what does it say? His words were smoother than butter, man. So it sounds nice, but war was in his heart.
Yeah.
His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords, man. So he'll say everything that's good, and then when you accept it, that's when the swords come out to play, man. That's when the devil inside tricks you, man, deceives you. Devil, diablos, deceiver, man.
Yep.
So his words are good, okay. Because when you look at what Esau's putting out there, he's pretty much agreeing and saying, yeah, Black lives do matter, and it's sad and it's a shame that society is still like this, but nothing's being done. Why? Because he doesn't want to, because that's not within his spirit. As it
Exactly.
says, they were drawn swords, man. So it's all about tricking Jake, like you were saying, this BLM, Black Lives Matter movement. It's all a setup. It's about tricking Jake to get them in the position of oppression once again, man.
That's all it is. Because all Esau wants to do is bring everything back to their normality. And their normality is seeing Jake down and out, talking shit, being a bunch of Negroes, right? Niggas, I'll just come straight, right? And they can just do whatever they want to do to us as a people, and just live their life as they may, and become the proud Americans that they want to become, and become the proud British, which they don't even know what the term British even means. And that's what they want to result back to. But all of this is going on in the world between Jacob and Esau. It's all hitting back at Esau, man. And because of it, going back to the part of the video, the live that we're doing, he's
I
still
got, I got,
going, brother.
but this is back in Ecclesiasticus 12 and verse 12, and it says, "Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place."
Right.
So him getting involved and saying, "Look, I'm on your side. I want the racism, I want the oppression to stop." Jake is going to listen to that and be like, "Yeah, okay, let's set him beside us because he's on our side." But it says, "Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place," man. So this is all a trick. It's all a tactic so that when Jake gets vulnerable again, he can just stand up in our place, man. You
Yeah.
know, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked thereby with.
Come.
You know?
Yeah. Like you said, it's just Esau wanted to trick us and wanted to, you know, pretty much get back that position they once had. Because like even the word said, they're losing their power, whether it's economically, when it concerns the jobs, which that's a part of the economy too, right? And all the above, their livelihood is not as good as it once was. And then on top of that, to make matters worse, they don't even trust their own government anymore. They're looking at their own government sideways. So a scripture comes to my mind, and I'm going to quote it to the best of my ability, where it says, if Satan be divided against itself, how can that house stand? So we're at that present moment in time, because you don't only just have this Black Lives Matter bullshit protesting going on, but you also have other protesters amongst these Edomites that are protesting about their government, about what their government's doing in terms of it being corrupt against them. So you have that situation going on as well. So all you have is anarchy. Not anarchy, not literal anarchy, but the anarchy is growing. It's gradually growing, little and little. Okay, because you have people, you have these devils, these rednecks, and also these Bible Belt guys out there too. You know, they're looking to do things, man. They're looking to get carnal. You know, go on, bro. That's what I wanted to say on that.
And that was that. Let me see what else I had. Cause I know I had one more.
Yeah, I tell you what. Can you get me Isaiah the 9th chapter, Isaiah 9 verse. Isaiah 19 it is, where it says the Lord will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, verse 2.
This is the book of Isaiah 19:2, and it says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom."
And that's what you're gonna have in America. You not only gonna have a race war, but you're also gonna have wars amongst these Edomites. You're gonna have class wars. Okay, going back to what I was saying, you know, you have these Edomites that have protested around government buildings and setting up these placards and you know, coming out in groves, man. The whole city coming out in groves and just pretty much protesting against their powers that be. So you're gonna have a situation where you're gonna have Edomites going up against superior Edomites. And this is something that, again, the elites want. The elites want to take it there because they believe that through, what is it? As the slogan is, the Masonic slogan, auto ab chaos. Out of what is it? Out of chaos,
Yeah,
snap.
oh yes, yeah.
That's what they want to do. And then at the same time, what is it? Use the Hegelian dialectic technique where they can eventually have a reasoning to take power from the majority and revert that power back to the few, which is, some people call it the 5%, some people call it the 1%. And that's what the one world order or the new world order is all about. And that's what they want to do. But according to the book of Job, what is it, the 20th chapter? I believe it's if you can, brother.
Oh,
Job,
Job 20.
yeah. I believe it's verse 8, man. Or it could be 20 and 20. Yeah,
He
Job
shall fly away as a dream, that one.
Um,
Oh wait, verse 20. How does it go? You know.
yeah, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Yeah, it's 20 and 20. It says, Job 20 verse 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired.
And the reason why it says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, because right when they're getting their one world order set up, you have people protesting, you have truthers out there. And, you know, the number one group out of the truthers is Great Millstone. We're the number one group for the truth. and we're speaking against them, and you have other people exposing them at the same time. You have whistleblowers and all the above, writing books and exposing the secrecy of their government. So this is how they're not going to feel quietness in their belly. Go on.
There's a little bit more on that.
Yep.
When you go to verse 23, it says, when he is about to fill his belly,
Yes.
the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him.
Right. So when they're about to just get everything ready and opening up this one world order up, that's when the Lord is going to bring them the judgment written. And that's going to be them being missiled. Now you can also get the book of Psalms 11, verse 6, because what's going to be their snare? Their snare is going to simply be this. But I want you to read it first, brother, and then I'll break it down.
All right. Psalms 11.
Yeah, verse 6, and then go back to Job 20.
This is Psalms 11 and 6, and it says, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup.
And that's going to be the portion of their cup. And what that entails is that they're going to experience being missiled. Now go back to Job 20.
All right, I'll read from Job 20, from verse 20.
Yeah, no, just so I'm get back to the point.
To the point in verse 23, and it says, when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Verse, you're going, bro.
Oh, okay. So like I pulled it up in.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. And shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So again, what is the Lord going to rain upon them? The missiles. That's what's going to be rained upon them. And it tells you in the 24th verse, if you want to get that, brother.
Yeah. So like the phone's playing up now. Give me one sec. Job. Okay. All right. In verse 24, it says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through.
That's it. That's going to be the end of these devils, man. Is that they're going to be missiled. And it's not going to just be the top elite that's going to be missiled, which really the top elite, they're going to actually escape what's getting ready to come down. It's going to be average peon Edomites that are going to experience the full force of this destruction that's coming. So much so for, the so-called Jews, they were instrumental in enslaving you, and let it just be at that. But you was also a part of that too. You was also a part of afflicting us as well. All right. They're gonna have to pay for what their forefathers have done. Not just the so-called Jews, but these regular Edomites, they're gonna have to pay for what they have done. All right. And this is why the Lord is gonna do what he's gonna do because of the Lord has a controversy because of Zion. One last precept, brother. If you can get me the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter.
But can I just read verse 25 of this?
Yeah, brother. And if you want to break
it says, it is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gowl. Terrors are upon him. And that's as the elder was saying, that's the reality, man. That because the upper elite are gonna, they have their bunkers and stuff like that. But your average Joe, your average Edomite, this is what's coming for them, man. And the people that dwell in the land and will get the same punishment as him. The glittering sword and it cometh out of his gowl, and terrors are upon him, man.
Yes.
Because in that moment, that's when Esau's gonna be terrified, man. When those missiles are being shot, man. Okay. And that proves that it's the Lord of hosts, the Lord of the armies, man. Because when you get into the word seraphim, it means what? Fiery, flying serpent, man. And that's their missiles, man. That's one of the hosts of the Lord, man. That's why it says it will not break their rank. Okay, so that's what's gonna actually make Esau scared, man. When he's, oh shit, these missiles are coming for us, man.
Yep. That's right. They're not going to be able to stop it. They can't. Well, they can't stop it now. All the protesting that they're doing, that they have been doing concerning this pending nuclear war, couldn't stop it. So just imagine when it actually happens. They're not going to be able to stop that.
Mm. So
Yes,
the last, what was that one you wanted?
yeah, it was in the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter.
Okay.
The 3rd chapter. The Lord has a controversy in Zion.
Okay. Okay. Let me scroll down to it.
Or what you could also get is Isaiah 34:8.
Yeah, I had that on deck.
Come on, that's the spirit.
Let me get that 34. Okay, so this is Isaiah 34. Load it up. Verse 8, and it says, "For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion."
Exactly. And that's how the Lord is also coming down to execute judgment, because he's looked down upon earth and seen his people suffering and being afflicted. So the Lord has a controversy of Zion concerning Edom as to what they've done. And also the Lord has to get the 2 individuals that pierced them as well, according to Revelations 1 and 7. So it's all out vengeance against the nation of Esau and Edom.
Mm.
You know, and when you really check it out, man, Esau came into power, and it seemed like a very long time as he's been ruling for, but it's actually been fast, man. When you check it out, because time moves very, very fast. But when you really look at it, you look at 500 years, it's not really that long of a time, man. To be honest with you, you know, as the scripture says, one day, a day to the Lord is as 1,000 years. So it's only been about 12 hours since the Lord had Esau rule.
Mm.
You know?
Mm.
And now all of a sudden we're in a time, approaching that time, that he's going to be destroyed, severely judged. Yes, so brother, get beyond the 1 in Joel 2.
Okay, let me go back to Joel 3. I'm trying to find. Is there a particular verse you wanted?
Yeah, I think it's in. Let me see some real quick.
I can start from 19.
All right, bro.
Yeah, this is Joel 3 and 19. And it says, "Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness."
And that right there, and check this out. It says Egypt shall be a desolation, right? And then it makes mention of Edom. That tells you right there that that's not talking about actual Egypt. This is talking about America. Because America, according to Revelations, also the 11th chapter, is known as Sodom and Egypt. So this particular Egypt is referring to America. Go on, brother.
For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
Right. For the violence against the tribe of Judah. So they've shedded blood against our people within this particular area, such as America, predominantly. We talk about lynchings. We talk about using all manner of torturing techniques against our people back when we was in hardcore slavery, and raping our people at the same time. They did all of this stuff. So that has to be repaid back. Go on, brother.
And it says, "But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. But I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion."
Right, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. Go on, brother.
Yeah, that was the last verse of it.
Hold on, let me see something real quick. I believe it's in Joel, the 3rd chapter, man. Let me see something. Just bear me for 1 minute. Joel.
While you're getting that, can I just bring out verse 4?
Yeah, you're going, yeah.
This is verse 4. And it says, "Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly, speedily, I'll return your recompense upon your own head."
Come.
because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Because these other nations as well, as you were saying earlier, Elder, it's not that they're scotch-free. They've violated us before, man. You
Mhm.
know, it's just that Esau, Edom, has done it the worst, and they went overboard, man. Because the scripture says, I was but a little displeased, and you helped forward the affliction, man. Okay, so these other nations, they're not, free. They're gonna get their punishment too. And the Lord is saying, look, well, you're gonna recompense me, because whatever you do, I'm gonna put it back on your own head.
Yeah.
But the top nation that came against us, man, and the Lord has a bone to pick with, if you will, is Esau, Edom, man. You know,
Come.
so whatever you've done unto us, it's gonna be done unto you.
Yep. And that's just the thing. And I mean, these nations have afflicted us too, in the past, but the main afflicting oppressor is the people of Esau and Edom, and this is why they have to get it. They have to get it the worst. And plus, the Lord has to show an example as to why you don't live the way that these people live, and treat the nation of Israel the way that they treated us. So it all works out in our favor, man, and then also obviously the Lord's favor, because the Lord is going to make an example out of Esau. Yeah. So you know what? That's what we bring out for now on, man.
Mm.
You got any more precepts?
Let's read this one more time. I read it at the beginning. It was Numbers 35 and 33, but I didn't get to finish it off. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Yeah. And that's going to be the end result. The end result is just going to be their blood is going to be shed, and that's how everything is going to be put back in its complete order. That's how the Lord is going to balance everything. Okay, because everything's off balance right now. So the Lord is going to put everything back in order, and basically execute judgment against them, and revenge is going to be taking place as well. So that's all we have for you out there, man. Those are you watching. And just to say this as well, these Edomites, all they're doing is just wasting their time trying to be righteous, trying to appear before all of our people. It's not going to trump their judgment, man. What it is they're ashamed of themselves, and they don't like the fact that everything about them is being exposed through this George Floyd situation. And this right here is very well going to get Jake to wake up more so to see the truth about these devils. And that's what's going on. But you also have at the same time a group of Jakes that don't want to agree with the idea that they are a bunch of demons on the left-hand side. They're not good people. I'm talking about the so-called white people. They're not good people. They're showing it, they're proving it. All right? And this is something that the majority of our people somehow are going to have to come to the conclusion, because it is what it is. Yeah, so that's all I got to say. Like I said, if you got anything else to say,
No, that's it.
all right, so yeah, so with that, giving all praises and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Al-Qadash, Wa Ba.
Wow.
Shalom. Even
Shalom.
if you watched as well, Shalom.